Hey, everybody. Welcome to the BBB weekly instructor call. Today is July 26th, 2022. And so we are going to go through today relatively quickly what we call the PBS Master Roadmap. But before we get started, I had Stacy unmute all of you, and I'm Jacqueline, for those of you who are new, who don't know me, and I am tagged with the A in a whole of the group. Okay, you have 4 MSIs here that you have the ability to work with. I am the A in the A hole. Stacy is our resident Excel tracking, whatever you want to call that, because it gives me a nosebleed. I'm very sucky at it. Christy is our cheerleader. We love Christy. And then, and she's a great leader, by the way. She is growing a really, really fine instructing team. And then we have Shane, and he doesn't have his picture on his video, so I guess he's mad at us. But Shane is our resident self-development, and you need to really pay attention when he does talk about self-development, because he has done it for many, many years and he is a master at it, and he will be sharing that with us every month at the beginning. So with that, before we get started, I want to start, and I hope y'all can see my screen, and I apologize, it's in Canva and I did not have time to make it as pretty as I would like, but we will be using this slide every week. So I want us to start out this meeting with our vision. And our vision is to become the best RRR 247 team in the world. And so I'm going to say this all by myself, or are y'all going to join in? Our vision is the best
RRR 247 team in the world.
Thank you. And we will get better at that. But Stacy, if you will, mute, please put everybody on mute, and I will unmute myself, and you can unmute yourself so that we can proceed with the training.
Go for it. You have to unmute, Jackie.
I did.
Oh, there you go.
Can you see my screen?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. This is a lot of words on a piece of paper, but I guarantee you, if you will take your time and follow this map, you will understand where you need to be with the basic system to get Google Adsense. Okay, many of you have been in this platform for a long time. We have looked at a lot of the PBSs that still have pages in them that were from back when we started, and the pages were obsolete at that time. And that's not your fault. We understand that. It's a lot. So what I did was I went through the new PBS basic system that Rory is giving to all new students. Okay, if you are not familiar with those sites please write this down. A regular PBS student will follow Home with Tanya. That is what they get. So if you are a regular new or not so new and you kind of get lost, that is the basic system that you need to start from. Okay, and we're going to talk about if you've already started and what to do, because that's where this map is going to come into play. Okay, if you are a new VIP, your system will be following the 1f16.com. That is what, and there's a couple of new, additional pages to be a VIP, and that's what they get right out the gate. Okay, again, if you were a VIP and you were following that and you have already started, that's where this comes in. Okay. Now, many times when Rory is training, he uses the Rory3.com. Rory3 is one of his websites that he actually uses on a regular. He still uses 1F16 and he still uses Home with Tanya, but they're more of a training site. Okay. Rory3 is actually a site that he uses and produces a lot of good content. So if you happen to be on one of the Saturday trainings when he's doing a marathon, or, you know, whenever he comes on and he starts, typically those pages that he is creating is always going to be in Rory 3. So if you miss the training or you don't remember, you can always go to any of these sites and you can search. Many times when I'm looking for something that he wrote, like whatever, I just kind of remember the key things that he was speaking of, and I search for that. And 9 times out of 10, I can pull up the document that I'm looking for. So that ought to be a helpful tip for you to be able to know what those 3 sites are and how they are utilized for you. All right. If you have any questions about that, put it in the chat and we will talk about that at the end of this program. But the Master PBS, actually, I went to Home with Tanya because that is what most people come in at. And that is the basic PBS site. So what I did was I went through that site and I worked up from what I had done. I did this in July of 2021. I revamped it again in January of 2022. So now I am in July of 2022 trying to update this so it will be a viable tool for you to use. So that's where this comes from. So obviously, you know, you have 2 homepage posts. You have to have a minimum of 2. They have to be modified. And they do have key phrases that are in them. We don't recommend that you change those because those are not driver pages. Those are pages to have enough posts in your system to meet Google approval. Okay. So you need to modify those posts, get them done, and you probably will never write another post as long as you're here. Okay. So the way that this works is I went down the menu. This is when you see this column, it is actually the menu of the PBS. Okay. So it has the category pages that are in the Home with Tanya PBS. Just know that the 1F16 menu is different than the Home with Tanya. So if you are a VIP, you are going to have more categories in your main menu than you will if you are a PBS student. Don't confuse that. Okay. If you're a regular PBS student, you have plenty of pages to do what you need to do to get Google AdSense. Don't be switching from one to the other. A lot of you are confused about that, or you're jumping to other sites, other student sites who are maybe more advanced than you, and you're adding their stuff. Guys, you're never going to get Google approval with that. There's a reason he starts us with a basic site so that you can get Google approved and then move on to all the other stuff. Does that make sense? Can I get some head nods? Okay. So when you're looking at down this sheet is set up just like what the categories are. We have arts and entertainment, you have beauty and cosmetics, you have blockchain innovation, you have clothing and apparel, you have computers and internet, you have cooking, food, and wine, you have, here we go, e-business and e-marketing is on the VIP site. If you are a PBS student, you shouldn't have this category, shouldn't worry about it right now. Move on. Okay, and I put that right here for you. All right. Then you have employment and jobs, free stuff, health and fitness, which we have a lot to remove out of there. And then we have mobile apps and games. Guess what? Mobile apps and games you will not find on Tanya, I can't even think of what it is, Home with Tanya. You're going to see it on 1f16.com. Okay, that's the difference. So when I did this in last year, actually these categories were on Home with Tanya. He has revised that. That's what we mean when we say you need to keep up with what he's doing, because he's changing this stuff. Okay. And in order for you to get Google Adsense, which we're all working towards, you want just the bare minimum to be able to get it, right? So just follow it. Don't add too much. Okay. So then we go to pets and their needs, self-help and personal growth, software and services, sports, and all things travel. Everything below this are pages that are either way obsolete, or they are additional kiosk offers that we have in our back office in CND. Now, those offers typically are not focused on when you're trying to get Google Adsense, in my opinion, right? You are trying to do the basic PBS and add 10 to 15 of your own pages. You may use some of these products for your 10 to 15 pages that you're writing on your own. But these pages aren't typically what you're going to attach to your menu. Your menu is pretty well set. Any pages that you add are going to be what we call floater pages. You're going to see a paragraph about them in your category page so that they are there, but they are not attached to your menu. And the reason for that is because we can only have a maximum of 90 pages attached to this PBS at any given time. If you try to add every page that you write about to your menu, your viewers will never be able to pull up your site. Google will not like that, because when Google goes to crawl your site, Google wants to get in, they want to crawl, and they want to get out. So if you're adding unnecessary things to your menu, you are hampering yourself from getting Google Adsense. So maybe knowing all of this, and maybe you already know it, I hope you do, by knowing, go back and look at your site before you even start with this. Do not just start with this and start taking out, educate yourself what this is telling you. Okay. So that's the categories. And then below that, that's how we have the pages set for, or the additional offers set. Okay. Now, as you go across, what I did was I told you what the names of the pages were in each category. All things entertainment. There was a page in there, get paid to chat. There was a page in there to get paid to game. There was the karaoke was in there at one time, right? So now when you go look at Home with Tanya, all of these pages that I have in red and blue are gone. They're no longer there, y'all. These are offers that we do not promote any longer. Now, what Rory taught you 2 Saturdays ago was, he said, if you have written these pages and you have already done the work and you have SEO traffic, do not remove these pages. Simply remove the links and direct them in a different manner. But for those of you who have not ever touched these pages, you need to back the pages up into your Google Drive, and he taught you how to do that. And then break your links, get rid of your keywords, and delete these pages out of your system. The reason for that is because who knows, down the road, we may have another opportunity with this sort of product. You don't want to have to go redo your work. So you have your content sitting there. So if he ever comes back and says, we're going to have another product like this, you are way ahead of the game. You can just simply go get that content out of your Google Docs and replace it into your system. Does that make sense? That's what we're doing here. So anything that you see when you are going through this, if it's white, it's still very much active, okay, in the category, in the PBS. If it is yellow here where it has key phrase and slug, you are welcome to change that if you choose. But just know, if you change that slug and that key phrase, you're going to have to modify even more in that page, because you're going to get a lot of Mrs. Yost errors. So while you're really doing the modification to get Google, I wouldn't even fool with changing. You're going to have plenty of time to come up with keywords and key phrases, really, but that's up to you. So if you see yellow and you are working on a particular page, you are most welcome to change that. If when you're going through and you see green over here where it says keyword or key phrase, do not change it. These are what we call driver pages. Okay, driver pages, number one, are what the branded memes drive to. So if you start changing this, you're not going to have, and you have branded memes, you're going to be putting branded memes out there that don't drive to a page in your PBS. Just know that. Make sense? So I have given you instruction on the pages that you really should not change. If you get to the section and you're working through this and you see red, you better read everything across here. That means that this page is no longer promoted through RRR. So you have options of what to do. Personally, every one of these pages, I have SEO traffic because I drove traffic to them. I did not remove these pages. However, what I did do was I broke my links because they're information, or I re-edited the page to send them somewhere else within my system. But many of you have never even gotten this far. So you are either going to back it up and you're going to delete it out of your system, but you will have your content in your Google Drive. If you don't understand how to do the Google Drive and all that, we have videos, that we have done to help you understand that. In our team training videos, it is all over. Rory's videos in the RRR 247 YouTube, it's all over. But you're going to have to go find it because we have done a lot of training on that. So you should have what you need to understand that, okay? Now, so that's what the red and the blue means. And guys, I apologize all over myself. I'll rework this 42 ways, trying to make it as easy as possible. But the reason it's so hard is because the minute I do this, it's obsolete. I would be doing nothing but keeping this up to date as a full-time job. So this is where we kind of do the best we can for you to help you, but you need to keep up with what's going on so that you understand what to do on your own. This is just a basis of where to start. Okay, so then I came down and I did that with every single page and category that is in Home with Tanya. There is, the awesome gifts page. I tell you what to do with that. The wine magic page never has changed. I tell you what to do with that. Then you get to the beauty and cosmetics. There's a lot in the beauty and cosmetics that is no longer. I give you the red and the blue. So I hope that you understand when you see red and blue, go do something with it to get it out of your system. Also, the Curse Cosmetics is very much a product that we still promote. Natural hair care products. And guys, some of you old timers, your page names may not be exactly what these page names are. Okay, don't get freaked out about that. However, what you should be checking, especially on the ones that are green, is that your key phrase and your slug match the key phrase and slug in that page, because that's where your memes drive to if you have branded memes. Okay. Also, for you old timers, if you had a Curse Cosmetics page and you chose to change your keyword and key phrase, it's never going to match what's in here because it's optional. So you have to know what you have chosen to do as a business owner. We can't tell you that. You can go pull up Curse Cosmetics and look at Home with Tanya and see what Rory used and reuse that. That's perfectly fine. But that's how you work that. Okay. Then I just stepped it down, guys. I went down every single category, every single page, and gave you a path of what to do with that page. Now, when you get down to, and you see some of it's repetitive because once you do it one time, that's what you're going to do, Cooking, food, and wine's in pretty good shape. We didn't move a whole lot around in there. Although some systems that I've looked at with some of you old timers, your cooking, food, and wine look nothing like this. Really doesn't. So that's the things you need to check if you're trying to get Google approval. Now, for those of you that have Google approval, this is probably a moot point for you because you figured this out already. This is for people that are still working towards Google approval. Okay. Now, when you get to this orange section is such that, just like I said before I got started, this is an additional category in the VIP sites. If you have it, fine. Make sure you have the right pages in it and move on. If you do not have it, don't go at it if you don't have Google Adsense. You are making more work for yourself. It's not necessary. Okay. I tell you what to do with it if you do have it. All right. Employment and jobs the same way. Health and wellness. We have a lot of health and wellness that has changed. Okay. Coffee, keto, all of that stuff. You really can change those pages to the plus product. You don't have to just go reword them and make them fit for Bella Vita. That's what I'm telling you to do here. Okay. If you choose not to do that and you already wrote your Bella Vita pages with plus, then go take these out. But don't leave them in there because these Valentis is gone. Now, again, for those of you, some of you still may be promoting Valentis, and that's perfectly fine. Leave it alone and go on. These are for the people that are not promoting Valentis. These are the people that have not gotten SEO for these pages, or they have chosen to rewrite them to plus. Simple as that. Okay. And I'm way past my time. I've got a few more, and I did go over because I had that preempt. And I apologize. Well, I don't apologize for that because it needed to be said. Okay. So then when you get down to the category of mobile apps and games, same exact thing. Mobile apps and games is a VIP category. If you don't have it, don't add it. You don't need it. But if you do have it, make sure it is correct. Okay. Pets and their needs, same thing. Self-help, same thing. Software and services, same thing. Sports, same thing. And then you get down to the obsolete pages, and pretty much in these obsolete pages, or I say get with your instructor because you may want to use this content for another page. That's all perfectly fine. It's just how you want to do it. But this map, I hope, will help guide you to where you need to be. And if you ever get lost, by all means, go look back at Home with Tanya, or go look back at 1F16.com. Just know what you're looking at. Home with Tanya is basic, 1F16 is VIP, and Rory 3 is actually new additions. Okay. And that's really all I have. I have a few minutes, about 7 minutes, Stacy, if somebody has any questions about this, and I will try my very best to guide you to make this easier for you. But I, honest to God, I didn't know any other way to do it. I really didn't.
You know what, Jackie, what I like is that this is a tool that we can actually, if a student calls us asking, what do I do with this page? All of us instructors can have this bookmarked and jump on and look at it, and we can tell them, and then we can teach them how to fish, how to read through this same document so that it just keeps moving them forward.
And what I suggest,
more self-sufficient.
I'm so sorry, Stacey. I didn't mean to interrupt you.
That's okay.
Finish your point. Finish your point, honey.
Oh, I'm just saying, you know, it's going to teach the student then to be more self-sufficient, to go look for the resources that we already have in place. We're just giving you guys another resource to help you guys build up your students. Does this make sense?
But please know, tonight, when Rory gets on the phone and starts changing things around, this is going to be obsolete. So with this tool, what I recommend, and we have recommended it all along, is when you get it, make a copy of it, a personal copy for you, for yourself, and bookmark that, as well as the one you want to make for the student, you know, that needs some guidance. But use it and mark it up as you're going, and you know you have fixed the stuff too, because it will help you know what you have done. I have my personal one that I keep up to date. And guys, I mean, it's a Bible for me, because it's when I change a page or I update, it goes, I know what I did because I go put it in it. And then I know when I advertise that page. So then I know I'm done. I know I've modified or rewritten. I know what my slugs are, and I know that I've advertised it. And in order to get Google Adsense, that's what you have to do. So please take this and utilize it to your benefit, as well as be able to help your students. Make sense? Does anybody else have a question?
Looks like Danielle's got a question. Go ahead and unmute, Danielle. You got to unmute.
She's trying.
Yep, there you go.
Okay, so I was just asking about what the colors are for, but then I found it right up here where it says green do not change, yellow okay to change.
I tried to cover everything. I promise I did. I mean, it was driving me crazy, and I knew it was going to be busy and hard. And so just know, I can go, y'all can jot this down. If you see a yellow block, that pretty much, if you see white, number one, that's still an active page. If you see white and yellow, that means that your key phrase and your slug are yours to do what you want with it. If it's white and green, that means you will not change that key phrase or slug. I mean, you can if you want, but then your branded memes will not match your pages. Make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So then when you see red and blue, God forbid, that is fatal. That means you need to really figure out what you're going to do with this page, because we don't offer the product.
Okay.
It's not there to offer. Okay.
Okay.
So does that help you?
Blue. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Thank you. What about the orange?
The orange is categories that are for VIP sites only.
Okay.
So many people that are just starting out, if they are coming in and they're a PBS, they're not a VIP, they won't have this. But what's happened over time, some of us have gone from PBS to VIP, or some of us have been granted into VIP and they've added this category. And so this category, just know, is not in the regular PBS.
Okay.
If you don't have it, leave it alone until you get Google Adsense. You can always add it later.
Right.
Okay. And I think there's been some confusion with folks that they thought, they were, number one, they didn't really understand what the different sites were. And they might go to one site and see one thing, and then they would confuse themselves because they'd go to another site and see another thing. Please know the sites that you were using to work from. Make sense? Okay.
Thank you.
Kim, I think Kim has a question.
Yep. Go ahead, Kim.
Where'd she go? I can't hear you, babe.
She's trying. There she goes.
I remuted myself after you unmuted me. Well, you answered one of my questions already, but that we can share it with our students, because that's very important to know. Because I was
As a matter of fact, we're going to train on this Thursday for your students.
good. Okay. Because I was very, especially Tammy, she was watching Rory's training, and she's using one F15. And I'm like, Tammy, that's the VIP thing. And she's like, well, I want to do that, do it. And I'm like, girl, you don't need to do all that, but she'll take it better coming from y'all. So
We can't, you know what, Kim, we can only lead a harder. I'm trying to make it as easy. We're trying to make it as easy for them to get Google Adsense. They want to add extra work, knock yourself out.
well, she'll see the better understanding. I think when she sees this, it'll help her to see, and she'll understand it better, because it just, anyway, this is very helpful, and I want to thank you for all the work that you did to do this. My second question is, how exactly am I supposed to get this so that I can have this and make my
It'll
copy?
cost you
And get,
$100,000.
huh?
It costs you $100,000 to get this.
Oh,
Bring
no.
the candy
Can't
bar.
afford that. I love you, but sorry, I ain't doing that. I don't have any money.
Candy bar to Dallas.
mortgage. I'm trying to get a mortgage on my house just so I
Kim,
can go to all
I
these
did
places.
this out of a labor of love. And every time I do it, I say, I'm never doing it again. And then Stacy calls me and she goes, well, you did it so good. And I'm like, Stacy, I'm going to do it one more time. So help me God, I'm not looking at this damn thing again. And I tell her that every time. I'm on my third version. Okay. I ain't doing it no more.
I remember seeing this the first time it was done.
This gives me achita. It gives me a nosebleed. Okay.
It
So,
gives me
but-
a brain scramble.
It's crazy, but I did it. And I swear I ain't doing it no more till Stacy calls me the next.
Yeah, the biggest thing though, guys, is on this, don't try to understand the whole thing in one shot.
No.
For the page you're working on and see what it says.
Right.
One page at a time. Don't even try and go in order here. Go in the order that Rory's teaching it and go find it.
The way
Correct.
you explained it made it a lot clearer to me. I actually understand this thing now.
Good Lord. if
First
you
time I've ever understood
I
it.
can understand.
But how do I get it, honey?
No, we're gonna share it.
Okay, thank you very much.
Be recorded. Stacy's recording it, and then we will have it in the chat for you in short order.
Thank you very much. I appreciate that.
Quite welcome, ma'am. Gail, I'm gonna beat you. What question do you have? You aren't allowed to have a question.
I have a question. How
You
do I
get-
copy?
How do you copy it?
I don't know how to copy
Okay. when
so
we
that I can
send you
so I
the
can use
link-
it. I used the other one, but I like
It's
rewrote
easy.
the whole thing.
When
Go ahead.
we send you we're gonna send you the Google Doc, right? You're gonna have rights to the Google Doc. You just simply go in and you hit file, copy somewhere. Check. Okay, Stacy, make
Okay.
a copy right there.
Go up and click, yep, file, make a copy.
And when you click that, it's going to make you another copy.
And it's gonna try to copy it onto Jackie's. And what you need to do is make it go to your drive. Jackie, go ahead and click the make a copy. And now,
And see how it says my
Folder?
drive? It's gonna say Jackie's drive, right, Stacy?
correct. So what you want to do is go ahead and click on where it says my drive.
This gives me achita, okay?
And if it's out on Jackie's, it'll be basically shared with me. You need to just, there's going to be a back arrow up where it says select a file. There's actually going to be a back arrow, and you can go back so that it comes to your drive, and then you click on my drive.
Okay. And then that's a copy that I can,
That's
I
the
can mess
copy.
with.
You can do whatever you want to do with it.
okay, I will give that a shot. If I have questions, I'll do it individually. Thank you for
You'll
all
come
this
to
work,
me like
Jackie.
you
Holy cow.
always do. And then if I don't answer you, you'll go to Stacy. That's the 2 up.
That's a lot of work. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, baby. Kim, you got one more question. That's it. Come on, it's 5:03. Go.
She shifted on me.
I know.
Oh,
It's a comment. You also want to, I mean, I always put Kim's copy when I make a copy of something somewhere. I put Kim's copy, and then I know that's my master copy. That's my own. And then when I give a student a copy, then I send them their copy. So they don't go in and mess my stuff up. So, you know,
Don't mess
but
my stuff up. I'll have
that's
it
just
in
my
the-
copy. It wasn't a question. It was a comment.
Perfect. Renee, Chat, I think you had a question, honey. Do you still have one? I'll take your question. Okay. All right. So if that, is there any others? Because we really are like running over time here. We're right.